Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. Are we before a massive crash or a massive moon? Right? A massive explosion to the upside. What is going to happen this week? What's going to happen with Shiba Inu? What's going to happen with Bitcoin? What's going to happen with the stock market? We're going to cover all this. All I ask is that you give me a beautiful smile, smishity smash that like button. Remember that the likes help the cryptocurrency and Shiba Inu market go up. So if we get 1,000 likes, we're probably going to go up. I'm just saying it's basic math, right? I've proven the theorem, right? Just joking, guys. Some people think I'm saying this is true, right? But and now let's do the Shiba Shake. So in this video, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, guys, right? On this channel, I try to give you both sides, not just, hopium, not just, we're going to go up all the time. We're going to go up thousands of percent. In the short term, there's some bad things sometimes that you need to know, because if things happen and we're going down and you don't understand, you panic sell, you don't know what's happening. This is a recipe for mistakes and for losing money. Okay. And so basically, the crypto market has been doing good in the past few days, right? You can see up 2.3% in the last 24 hours. If we load it, right? Let it load. We can see here what's happening, right? 2% in the last 24 hours. And we can see Bitcoin is up 4.7% at 28,400. Ethereum is close to 1,800, but it's been pretty flat. Outside of Bitcoin, that has been strong, right? Most of the altcoins here have been flat. So Ethereum, BNB, XRP, Cardano, 1%, Polygon down 2%, right? Doge, 0.2%. Only Sol is up 8%. Interesting. Polkadot's 0.6% and Shiba Inu down minus 0.3%. You can see most of the Litecoin 0.2%. So outside of Bitcoin, right, most of the altcoins haven't been moving. So this is an interesting scenario, right? Bitcoin is moving. Bitcoin is you could say it's pumping, right? But the rest of the cryptocurrency market isn't moving that much. Now, what are the reasons for this? Well, two main reasons. One reason is that Bitcoin is the gateway crypto, right? Meaning that people usually start out with Bitcoin. When their money is on the sidelines, they'll buy USDT and then they'll transfer it to Bitcoin and see what happens. Why? Because this week could be very, very bad, to say the least. Okay. First of all, we have the Fed meeting on the 23rd. We've talked about this a lot. I've, drilled it inside your brains about the fact that we have the Fed meeting and we're going to know about interest rates on Wednesday. And that could shift the market into a specific way. Now, I'm going to show you something. Now, don't be scared, right? Because I'm going to show you both sides of the coin in just a second here. So we have this Twitter page, Game of Trades. Now, Game of Trades comes and it gives us this picture, right? This picture here that shows us that we take a look back and we look historically at what was happening in 2008, if it loads, and 2023, and what happened in the 1970s, right? I don't know why this is not working here. Here we go. We'll look here. Okay, 2008 and 2023. We saw fall-offs, right, in the same exact place. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean that what happened in 2008? I don't know why Twitter is so slow. But I have very fast internet. I don't know. Elon, what's going on? It's all Elon's fault, right? It's all Elon Musk's fault. So you can see here. Here we go. Oh, okay. Now it's working. You can see here in 2008. We had a pump here, right, above my head, and then there was a crash, right? Maybe I'll move myself to the other side. And then there was a crash, okay? And so many people are predicting that because of this, This week, we saw the same kind of movement where it went down, right? It held this trend line. It held the trend line again in 2023. It broke through, fake out, right? And then bull trap, and then boom, it started coming down. And then there was this massive crash into 2009, right? If you remember, the low point didn't come only a year later after the 2008 financial crisis. The low didn't come until a year later, right? And so some might say that we are already in the financial crisis, and some might say that we're not in it yet. And, with what's happening with the banks, I think with, more banks potentially happening, the same thing that happened to Silicon Valley Bank and other banks, there's like 120 banks that are at risk of the same thing happening, then one might say that we're in the thick of it, right? We're in the thick of the crash. And now the question is, are we on the bull side, or are we on the bear side, or are we on the kangaroo side, right? This is the question, right? What will happen with Shiba Inu in specific, right? If a bear market starts here, right? If this is all a fake out, and now Bitcoin drops, back to 20,000 or to 15,000 or to 10,000, what happens here to Shiba Inu? Will it hold? Well, if a crash does happen in the short term, Shiba Inu is probably going to fall, and it could fall even 50%, especially if regular Shibarium doesn't come out until then, right? Not the puppy testnet. And we start seeing some numbers, right? It could be a 50% drop. Now, I showed this in a week. I saw this last night. Exactly 1 week ago, everybody was panicking, right, about the crypto market. And the fear was very, very high. And now we're back in greed, right? And so maybe next week we'll be in a different situation, right? Now everybody's euphoric about the cryptocurrency market, but there's still a lot of things that are happening. But, right, I like big butts and I cannot lie, right? You can always find graphs that look like the other graphs. So, for example, if you want to take a look at graphs, right, in 2022, and we take 1962, where it was a bull market, you can say, wow, it was almost the same thing. And if you 90% correlation, and 2008 to 2022 is also a 91% correlation, right? And if you go also here, 2015 is a 86 correlation to now, and 1973, which we also had here on gain of trades, is only an 85% correlation. So you can see here, the bears will always find a graph that looks like what's happening now, and the bulls can also find always a graph of what's happening now. The problem is that in 1962 and in 2015, we weren't in the same situation and economically, right, that we are now, right? And things are really weird. Okay, so you have high inflation, but low unemployment, right? Which is very, very weird. And so the market doesn't know how to eat this, right? It doesn't know how to process this. And that's why the markets could be all over the place. We could see massive volatility, massive, movement, even in the stock markets. And, again, if Shiba Inu drops 50%, right? And we get back to, let's say, 500 or 700, where we were here on the low, would you buy? That's a question that you need to ask yourself. If it hits 500, right? We're now at 1,000. If it hits 500, I'll go back to the other side. We hit 500 here. Are you buying? Right? What's your plan? Right? If we go into a bear market, and it crashes, what's your plan? Is your plan to buy some more? Is your plan to panic sell? Is your plan to have a stop loss, right? A 15%, 20% stop loss from the current situation, right? What's your plan? Now, all plans are valid, because I can't tell you what to do, because I don't know your situation. Are you a 20-year-old living in your parents' basement with a good job, right? Then you can take more risks. Are you a 35-year-old man living in a 36, right? Living in the fourth most expensive country in the world with 3 kids? I'm talking about me, right? Then your situation is different, because I have lots of expenses, right? And I earn in dollars. For example, for me now, it's good. The shekel is going down, right? Today it went up. Just showing you, it's a 52-week high, right? So for me, actually, it's good because I make money in dollars from YouTube, but I have to pay things in shekels. So for me, it's good that the shekel is weak and the dollar is strong, right? According to the shekel. But for someone, I don't know, in South Korea, the South Korean currency might be strong to the dollar now, right? And so maybe your situation in South Korea or in the Philippines or wherever is different. So it's very hard to know what someone is doing, right? And what's someone's situation and what's someone's plan. So everybody's going to have a different plan. That's why I can't tell you to buy, to sell, to hold without knowing your situation. Any financial advisor anyway would not give predictions or recommendations without knowing specific what's going on with your own finance, right? The people on TV, and YouTube, they give their opinions. Well, they always have an underlying interest. This is how it is, right? On CNBC or on the internet or on YouTube, they always have an underlying interest, right? Because they don't know what's going on with your finance. So if they tell you to buy or to sell, even if they're a financial advisor, they're a bad financial advisor, right? Because they need to know what's going on in your personal finance to know what's good for you, right? Some person is good this and some person is good that. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens here with Shiba Inu, what happens with Bitcoin, what happens with the cryptocurrency market. Let me know in the description down below, what do you think will happen? Will we see more banks crash, or money flowing into cryptocurrency because of that? Will we see the Fed raise interest rates and the market crash? What will happen here this week? It's super interesting this week. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe this week, last week we were in fear. This week we were in euphoria. Maybe next week we'll be in, we'll just be high as a kite. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen in 1 week. Right? It's very hard to predict these kinds of things. So we'll see how all of this plays out. Check out the links in the description down below if you want to start trading. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, don't forget to smash the like button and let's make a lot of money.